What's up, everyone? Welcome to part two of our login screen tutorial. So in part one, we looked at setting up parse and downloading the frameworks and installing them into our application. And since last time, I did a few things on our storyboard. So the first thing I did is I drug in two more view controllers, and then in our first original view controller, I drug in two text fields, one for the username, one for the password, and then I drug in two buttons right here, and this is for a login button, and this is for a sign up, which will eventually transition to here. And then similarly over here, I have three text fields with username, password, and email, and a sign up button. And this third view controller is when we sign up successfully or log in successfully, will be pushed to here. Uh, yeah, so that's it for that part. So the first thing we're going to do is connect or create some outlets. So let's click on the view controller and open up our assistant editor. And the first thing we're going to do is create an outlet for a username field. So we'll call it username field. Create one for our password field, and we'll call that password field. Make that capital F. And then we'll control drag from our login button and create an action called login action. And for now, that's good. We'll create our sign up action in a moment. So now click on our sign up view controller, open up assistant editor, and control drag, create an outlet, username field, password field, and email field. Alright, so now what we want to do is we want to hop back into our view controller, and we're actually going to start coding up our login screen. So the first thing we want to do is we're actually going to create an activity indicator, and the reason I'm just doing this now is so I don't forget. So we're going to create a variable called actIn, and it's going to be of type activity indicator view, and we're going to create the size and the location of it. So we're going to call CG rect, and it's going to be in the center of our screen, so we want 0, 0, and then maybe like 150 by 150, and then it's going to be of type UI activity indicator view. Now in our view to load, we're going to add a few properties to our activity indicator. So self.actIn.center equals self.view.center. So that's just going to put it in the center of the view. Self.actIn.hides when stopped equals true. So what that's going to do is once it's done loading, it's going to make the indicator view go away. Now we want to set the style. So we'll set the style to UI activity indicator view style.gray. And then lastly, we need to just add it to the view. So view.add subview and call self.activity indicator. So next we want to hop into our login action, and now we're going to create a few if statements, and this is actually going to let us log in to an account via our backend on Back4App. So the first thing we want to do is create a variable called username, and that's going to be equal to our username field text. And we're going to do the same thing with password, variable password equals self.passwordfield.text. Alright, and then we're going to create an if statement. So if, open bracket, username dot characters dot count is greater than for or password dot characters dot count is greater than 5. Well, actually, we'll make both these 5. Also, it'll be easier. So now what we want to do is we're going to create a variable called alert, and it's going to be of type UI alert view. And we're going to call a few. So the title is going to be invalid. The message is going to be username and password must be greater than 5 characters. And basically that's going to, what this alert's going to do is if our username or password field is less than 5 characters, it's going to display this invalid message saying that we need to have at least 5. The delegate is going to be self, the cancel button is going to be okay, and we can actually get rid of this last part. I accidentally put it in. And then all we need to do here is show our alert. So alert.show, just like that. Now what we want to do is type in else. And here we want to start our activity indicator, because if we don't get that error message above, then it's going to push us into this else statement right here, and this is where we're going to load up our username from the back end. So we're going to call in, first we need to import parse. Sorry about that. Import parse at the top of your file. Then we're going to go pf user dot login with the username in background. The in background is going to be username. The password is going to be password. And then for a block, we're going to call user and then error. And then after that, we're going to stop our animating for our indicator view. Because essentially, if it does load, then we want it to stop. Then we're going to create another if statement. It's going to be if user doesn't equal no, then what we're going to do is create another variable called alert of type UI alert view, and that's going to have a title of success. The message will be logged in. The delegate again is self, and then the cancel button also is okay. And then, like up above, we need to also do alert.show. Now we're going to do let VC for view controller. That's what that stands for. Equals self.storyboard dot instantiate view controller, and we're going to be calling it home. Then we want to present that view controller. So basically right here, you see lines, it's creating a variable for view controller, and it's with the identifier home, sorry, not home, and then it's going to present our view controller. Now what we want to do is add another else statement, and then inside this one we're going to call another variable called alert equals UI alert view. You should understand how this is going to go kind of by now. This title is going to be error. This message, we'll give it I don't know, something like check parameters and try again. Something like that's fine for now. Delegate is self, and then the cancel button, like up above, is okay. And then we're going to show that again. Sorry about the typing. We also have to close our in background statement right here on this second bracket after our last alert statement. Then we should be able to run it, and hopefully we get no. And we can actually hop into our storyboard while that's loading up in the background. And we're going to click on our view controller and open up our assistant editor. And then from this button right here, we're going to create an action called something like sign up action is good. Yep, there we go. Alright, so let's go back into our view controller. And now in that sign up action we just created, we're going to create another variable for our view controller. So let VC equals self.storyboard dot instantiate view controller with identifier, and this string is going to be sign up instead of home like last time. And then again we want to present our view controller, so self dot present, and then call VC, animated is true, and completion is no. So now let's test out that. We'll run it again, and when we click that don't have an account button, it should push us into our sign up view controller. At least I'm hoping. Alright, so press that, and indeed it does. Alright, that's good. And then lastly, we're going to create one more function in our view controller, and it's going to be for an auto login. So essentially what that's going to do is it's going to check every time the app opens if there's a current user signed in. If there is, then it's not going to show our sign-in screen, but if there's not, it'll show in the login screen on the initial load. So let's create a function. Let's first get some more space here. Alright, so we're going to call a function auto login, and we're going to call it if pf user dot current equals nil. Then we're going to just print no user. Else let VC equal self dot storyboard dot instantiate view controller with string, and this one's going to be home. Self dot present VC again, animated, you get the idea by now, animated true, completion no. Alright, so let's see if that works. Well, it's not going to work, but let's hope it builds at least with no error. And it looks like it does. Alright, so I guess the only other thing we could do is we could create a, I'll show you. Let's first turn on our keyboard. We could create an action where when we click outside the text fields, it dismisses the keyboard. So yeah, let's actually do that real quickly. That'll be good for now. So we're going to call touches began and then our code's going to be if let touch equals touches dot first, then self dot view dot end editing, and that's going to be true. And then we're just going to call super dot touches began. I'm going to call our variable touches that we just created, and our event is going to be type event. So let's run that and see if it works. Alright, so let's click on our field, and as we click outside, it dismisses the keyboard just like we want. And the reason that we want that is on smaller displays, for example, like an iPhone 4 or 5, if you have your text fields down here, depending where they are, the keyboard will cover them up, and you won't actually be able to get to them unless they're inside a scroll view, and it just gets a little bit crazy. So that just is an easy way to do it for now. Alright, so before we go any farther, we need to do something really important in our storyboard. So we're going to click on our sign up view controller, and we're going to go and set our storyboard ID to sign up, and then you're going to want to set this view controller, you want to set its ID to home, and that's for these right here, and that's so it knows which view controller to present when we call this method right here. Now we can actually test our method right now. If we hop into our dashboard and we click on user, we can actually add a row, and we'll call it test user, and the password will be test user. And what we can do actually now is we can go back into here and we can run our app, and now we should be able to log in. Not sign up yet, but we should be able to log in, and it should press us to that third view controller. So test user, and we'll click login, and we should get that message success, logged in, and when we press OK, you can see we're on that third view controller. Alright, so now what we need to do is we need to get our sign up view controller loaded up. So we already created our outlets, and if you didn't by chance, here you go, this is what you need to create. But we're actually going to go back into our view controller quick and just copy this line, because there's no need to retype it if we already have it. We're going to use the exact same code there, and then we're also going to copy this, and we're going to paste in review to load so we don't have to type that again. That'll save us some time. Alright, the next thing we need to do is we need to go to our storyboard, and we need to create an action here. So click on our sign up view controller, click the assistant editor, and then create an action from our button. Right here, sorry about that. And we'll call it something like sign up action. Alright, now that we'll hop back into our sign up view, and we're going to create 3 variables again. So variable username equals username field.text, variable password equals password field.text, and then thirdly we need variable let's call it just email equals self.email field.text. Alright, now we need a if statement, so if open bracket username dot characters dot count is greater than 4, actually 5, or password dot characters dot count is greater than 5. we want to create a variable called alert, and that's going to be a type UI alert view. With title, we're going to be calling it, or it's going to be invalid. Message is going to be username and password must be greater than 5 characters. The delegate is self, and the cancel button is okay. And then we need to show that alert. And whoops. So alert.show. And then we need to do else if email dot characters dot count is less than 8, so we'll do this way, is less than 8. We're going to create a variable again called alert equals UI alert view. And this time we're going to be calling it invalid again. The message is going to be please enter a valid email. Delegate is self, cancel button, okay. And then we need to show that one more time. Now we need one more else statement. And we're going to start animating. And then the variable new user equals pf user, and sorry, forgot, we need to import parse in the header. Now new user dot username equals username. Then we need new excuse me, new user dot password equals password. Then new user dot email equals email. I'm going to go new user dot sign up in background with in block, and then our block is going to be we're going to call it succeed. And then error void in. Then we're going to stop our activity indicator. And then what we're going to do is one more if statement. If error doesn't equal nil, I want to do variable alert equals UI alert. I don't know why it did pop up. Variable alert equals UI alert view. That's why. Title. Our title's gonna be. Let's make it error. Message is gonna be backslash, and then in here we're gonna put error, and then delegate is self, and then cancel button is okay, and then alert dot show. Then we need else. Variable alert equals UI alert view. And this time it's going to be success. Message is going to be signed up, delegate self, and cancel button okay. And then alert dot show. And then we need to do one other thing. Let VC equal self dot storyboard dot instantiate excuse me, and view controller with string, and it's going to be home, and then we're going to do self dot present, and then it's going to be VC animated is true, and then completion is no. So now basically I went through this pretty quickly just because it's very similar to our view controller. The main difference is right here, these variables, and this sign up in background instead of log in with background. That's a little different, but everything else is basically the same. Play around with it, like I said, but this is basically how you do it. So let's run it, let's test it out. Alright, so we already know that the login function works. We're just interested on the sign up right now. So we'll go over here. We'll just call this one something else, like account 1. Password is going to be account 1, and email is going to be account1@gmail.com. Then we'll click sign up and success and signed up. And then if we go into our back for app dashboard, we should see that new user created. So hopefully that works. Sign in. Then once you're in your dashboard, you're going to find your app. And then open the dashboard. And then inside here, click on users. And let's see. Yep, there we go. Account 1 and email account1@gmail.com. So now the only thing really left to do, if you want your login screen to have a little bit more of a appealing look, so to speak, you can add an image view to your view controller, and then just span it the size of the entire controller, and then you just want to set it to suggested constraints, and then make sure that you put it above all of that other things in the view, and then run it. Or sorry, not run it. And then you would need to find a image of some sort. So I already have one that I pulled from the internet, but just get one that's the size of an iPhone. Just drag it into your assets folder. Then in your storyboard, select the image view, and then you can just call that image like that. And then when you run it, you'll see that it's much nicer looking. Alright, so there you go. I mean, it looks a little better, obviously. You would change the color of these and everything. If you want me to do another video, I could do a quick, like, 10-minute video and show you exactly how I made the intro login screen I showed you with the logo up here and the background for the buttons and everything. But if not, yeah, I won't make it because I think this is fine for now for you guys. You can figure it out. But thanks for watching. I might make a part 3. It might be sped up if you don't want to watch, or if you don't want to hear me talk the whole time. I know this is like a 35-minute video, so if you want like a 10-minute sped up version, look out for that within the next day or two. Alright, thanks guys. Peace.
Crack it.